Hi, I'm Liz Cease, as you already know, and here's my social network mapping assignment. I did things a little bit differently than what I've seen in the sense that my family network is really, they're my online network. I moved out to Connecticut. The majority of my family, I all live really all over the country, and so this is really the best way we have to connect with each other through email, Facebook, and even talking on the phone and texting, but we don't see each other in person all the time. So we're really an online family network. We talk to each other a lot through the various social media that we are connected on. Um, Up above, you can see this is my dad's side of the family. Down below is my mom's side of the family, and this little random bubble over here is my extended family, if you will. It's my grandma's brothers and sisters and their kids, so it's my dad's cousins, aunts and uncles. But we are really close to them because of my grandma. And you'll see she really connects us to them. Joanne and Earl are her brothers, two of her brothers and sisters, and everyone else on here is kids of her brothers and sisters. So she really connects us to them. She also, weirdly enough, connects because even though she's my dad's mother, she connects with my mom's side of the family, especially with my Aunt Carol, because they live in the same city and they actually live about a mile and a half apart. So they're really close together. They see each other a lot. They do things together. So they really connect all of us together. And my grandma ends up being the main hub in my family online network, if you will. I actually have a special connection with my cousin Melissa because we're the same age. We grew up, obviously because we're the same age, we went through all the different life stages together. And at weddings and stuff, when we would see each other, we would hang out, have a great time, and we communicate really frequently. So that's a very special bond we have, even though we're not direct cousins. But we do talk a lot, so I thought that was important to mention. Some of the things we share: health information, academic accomplishments, kind of what's going on in our life, things that you normally wouldn't need to share with someone because you see them all the time, but we don't see each other. And so it's important to know what's going on. And again, the reason is location differences. I've got family that lives on the East Coast, I've got family that lives in the Rockies, I've got a lot of family that lives in the Midwest, but not all in the same state. So we're really spread out all over the country, and the best way we have to communicate with each other is through various online means. My offline network is actually my Northeast friends, which is all the friends I've made that either live out here or I've met since I moved out here, and I'm really the hub of activity there. My friends don't really interact with each other a lot, so if they wanted to get in contact with each other, they'd have to go through me. Some of them do connect, like Eric connects with Mark and Tom because that group lives out of state. Um, and he was the one that introduced me to them. Dan connects with Mike and Ethan. Dan is this is the comic book shop friends. This is kind of my random bunch of friends that don't really have a group, but I hang out with them a lot. And then down here is my school friends. And they're really separate from everyone else, which is a little unusual, but at the same time, I know if I'm going to go hang out with my school friends, we're mostly going to be focusing on school or other things, and I don't have to necessarily worry about any drama that comes with my other groups of friends and how they connect with each other. Um, and then my friend Dylan, again, I have another little special exception on this slide. He is from back home in Nebraska, and so he knows my mom and dad really well. He knows a lot of my friends back there really well. So he actually ends up connecting my Northeast network with my family network. So even though I do see him in person a lot, we have a lot more to talk about than a lot of my other friends because we can talk about things from back home and know exactly what we mean because he connects with my family and I connect with his. And so again, this one is a little different in what we share because we share a lot of like what's going on in terms of like news as opposed to necessarily our daily goings on. and like things that are going on. Like if you want to hang out with somebody, you're going to ask them, hey, let's go do something somewhere. But again, we do share the academic and work accomplishments. But the reason, because we're all in proximity to each other, is mostly we're looking for people to hang out with and be social with. And we also want to spread information. So a lot of what I do is with comic books, and so a lot of times we'll spread comic book news or whatever. And yes, we do connect online, like we're all friends on social media or whatever, but the majority of our actual interaction is in person. And I actually took the comic book shop network and went into more detail. You can see I connect with a lot of people just because I've met them all. Mike is, as you'll see as we go through, he's really the hub of information. He owns the comic book shop. Erin is his daughter, so she's kind of a secondary hub. But if we keep going, you can see Dan connects with me, Mike, and Erin. Jessica, Eric, and Justin all connect together. They're really good friends. Justin and Eric are actually twins, so they obviously are very connected with each other. They grew up together. They still hang out a lot. And they're really good friends with Jessica, so they all connect together. Ken connects with Mike as well as some other people, but he mostly goes to Mike for information. And then Kingpin hangs out a lot with Mike, Aaron, and Ken because they're a lot closer to the same age. With Aaron is obviously a lot younger, but Mike and Ken and Kingpin are all about the same age, so they connect with each other a lot. As you can see from the detailed map, Mike and Aaron are really the two hubs of information here. Because Erin is Mike's daughter, she's in the comic book shop with him all the time. She knows just as much information as he does about comic books. Everybody jokes that someday she's going to take over the comic book shop, which in all probability she will. But then Mike is the main hub of information. He owns the shop, so he always knows what's coming out, what's new, recommendations based on what we've gotten in the past, and like general things that an owner of a shop should know. But it's interesting to notice because we're all friends at the same time, he really is that hub of information. We go to him for a lot more than just comic books. And like all of us will go see, this whole group of people will go see movies together. We'll do like other fun things together outside of the comic book shop, but it still leads this sort of crude network map because that's how we all know each other and interact with each other the most. And so obviously Mike and Aaron interact with each other a lot because they're father-daughter. And that's really my networks. This was a really interesting assignment. I did not realize how many friends I had in the Northeast. Since I moved out here, I didn't know anybody when I moved out here, and I kind of started with a clean slate. And so it was really interesting to see how all my friends interacted, which was a lot more than I had really thought they would if you had asked me a couple days ago. So this was a really interesting assignment. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.